Hi guys, very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the video number 457, and in this video today I'm going to talk about 6 shortcut keys in Excel which are very useful. And most of the time when you work in the Excel, or if you're extremely somebody who is from the MIS department who extensively spend a lot of time on Excel, then these are the shortcut keys which most of us are not aware of, right? They are not like the normal shortcut keys like copy, save as, and the paste, control V, control C, control X. I'm not here to talk about those basic shortcut keys. These shortcut keys are very useful from the formatting perspective and from the formula part working. Okay, so let's start this. And for those who are watching the channel for the first time, guys, we have got 457 videos on Excel, VBA, Access and Access VBA. And my name is Ajay Parmar. This is my channel, which is youtube.com/c/Ajay Kumar Parmar. You can find all these tons of the codes on this channel. What you need to do is you just need to click on the playlist, and these are the 45 playlists which we have created. Every playlist have different number of the videos, right? And all these videos are a mixture of basic videos, advanced videos, and intermediate level of the videos. Any title which says that, for example, this talk about this access VBA collection and other loops. Now this means that here we are talking about the access VBA code, okay, and the topic is collection and other loops. When you click here, you would get to see here further 5 more videos, right, which are taken from the different emails, the emails which you write, or the comments, or maybe if I come across any good thing, I try to upload those things, right? Similarly, you have the for example, if you see this is the Excel VBA code, right? This is not the access, and the topic which we have discussed here is called the collection loop. So these are all the 45 different playlists. Now I understand that as you also ask me every time that how to begin with this if you want to learn Excel or Excel VBA, or maybe access VBA, then guys, these are the basically the playlist, right? These are all the playlists which you can watch in this sequence. If you're looking for the Excel, first you go for the demo video, then you can start with the VLOOKUP match, then count and sum, then indirect, then index, and so on. And similarly for the Excel VBA, first go and check the playlist Excel VBA introduction. When you click there, you get to see there I think 7-8 videos. Start watching the videos in the sequence which I have created there, right? So this way you can have fantastic learning, right? Now let's come back to the original topic which for which I'm today uploading the video. In this video now we're going to talk about these 6 shortcut keys which I have written here. These are the shortcut keys: Control 1, Control T, Control F1, Control D, Control Enter, and Alt this the colon, right? So these are the basically shortcut keys we are going to discuss one by one, and of course I will write the summary, the comment section here, that what they actually do, right? Now what is the Control 1? Now guys, whenever you suppose I write here a date, let me write a date. So this is the date which I have inserted right now. Well, what I did is I simply pressed Control colon, okay. Now this is the bonus for you. I didn't mean, I mean, this wasn't planned that I would cover this, but if you want to insert today's date, you can press Control colon, okay. Now this is the date. Now what if you want to go to the format cells? Now there are many options. For example, you can right click, you can go to the format cells, or you can go to the home tab, and in the home tab then you would find here format cells. This is the format cell. You can click there, and once you click there, you have all these, this window comes which says that which formatting basically you're looking forward to. Now, and of course from the ribbon as well, directly from this date, you can also go and check out all these things: short date, long date, and all that stuff, right? Now there is a shortcut key which is called the Control 1. So if I just press Control 1, you see that this window, the same window, the format cell window, would pop up. So next time when you use the format cells, I would really recommend you to use the shortcut keys. Shortcut keys brings the speed. And also, if you do not know the shortcut keys but you know Excel very well, it's like you're not actually a complete Excel advanced user, right? Because shortcut keys plays a very important role. So I again repeat that you must know all the essential shortcut keys. And by the way, there is a playlist as well on my channel, Excel shortcut keys part 1, part 2, and I think part 3 is also there. So there I talked about I think 25 shortcut keys, right? So you can also go through that. Okay, now so control 1 is basically to format the cells, to go to the format cells. Okay, this is the first thing. Okay, now what is the next thing we would like to do? The next thing we would like to do is Ctrl T. Now what is Ctrl T? Now guys, Ctrl T, basically what happens when you have a table, for example, if I just go and just pick up this data and I just go in the new sheet and let's say I paste the data here. Okay, now what if you want to convert this into a table, the Excel table, right? So what you can do is you just go, you put your cursor, you put your cell over here and press Ctrl T. I'm going to press Ctrl T, and the moment you press Ctrl T, this says that this is your table, which is, it has selected the entire table. My table has headers, yes, of course. If you don't have a header, you can uncheck that, right? But the moment I click OK, you see that Excel actually inserts the table. Now this is actually the Excel table with which has a filter, and the next time if I add anything here, you see that that becomes the part of the table, right? And if you just go and press, let's say, so if I just write here, let's just sum, you get to see here all the functions with the sum as well, right? So basically tables are very important. If I click here, you can see that table tools is activated. This works as a table, right? If I just go and let's say I write here a formula called VLOOKUP, and the moment I select this cell, you can see that it is not selecting the H5, it is selecting table 2 at Excel VBA, which is the header. So this is how it works. Now I'm not here to talk about the tables, right? Tables are very useful when you want to create the charts or the pivots, because then by default what happens, if you create the pivots or the charts from these tables, you don't have to use the offset function to make the things dynamic. So which means that every time if we have a new data and you want that chart should pick those items automatically, generally people always use the offset function, and I had talked about that in my videos as well. But if you're going to use that as a table, this Excel table, then there's no need for that, right? Chart will automatically pick up the things, and pivot will also automatically pick up this range, right? And so you can click here, you can see that this is all about it, and you can go to the design view, you can change the table, the basically the formatting as well. That's all up to you, right? These are all the basically different table designs which you can actually use it, right? So this is the Ctrl T option which you can use, and you can quickly insert it. Otherwise you will have to take the help of the ribbon. Okay, so let's come back to the next shortcut key. So this is Ctrl T is basically to convert simple table into Excel table. Right, now please understand, in Excel, when I talk about the table, generally I mean that we mean that there is a data which will have a bunch of records where you will have some rows and some columns, right? So don't get confused when I say that Excel table. Basically this table is different. This is not the normal table which you write, because I showed you when you write any formula, then how it actually works, right? And at the same time, if you add anything here, this automatically becomes the table's part, right? So this is something which is not your usual the normal table. This is the Excel table, right? So what about the next shortcut key? So the next shortcut key is very interesting, which is Ctrl F1. Right, now this is basically to I can say to hide the ribbon, and to unhide the ribbon. Okay, so now if I just go and press Ctrl F1, let me show you. Ctrl F1. So what happens when you press Ctrl F1, your ribbon actually disappears, right? So you have a more, your sheet actually has now more number of rows, so you can use this, right? Sometimes we like to use this as well, right? If you don't need the ribbon. Again, if you press Ctrl F1, the ribbon comes back, right? Now generally, before I learned this shortcut key, how I used to do it, I used to double click on any of these headers, menu. So for example, if I double click here, this is how it removes, and I double click back and it comes back. So if I double click here, you see that double click and it comes. If I double click, it goes and on and off. So this is how it is, but it's always good to know the shortcut key. So that's how this is your shortcut key which you should know to hide and unhide the ribbon. Okay, now let me talk about the next shortcut key, Ctrl D, which is very important. Now guys, Ctrl D is to basically fill down all the values from the top cell. For example, if I write here, let's say 22, and I just go and select this range and I say Ctrl D, you know what happens? It's going to work as a copy and paste. Okay, so this is the Ctrl D which you can use. There is another way as well. For example, if I write, let's say here 5G, and I just go and say that Ctrl Shift up arrow, and now I say Ctrl D. Once the table is selected, it's going to paste the upper value. It could be a constant, it could be a formula, it doesn't matter. For example, if I just write here a formula, let's say this is my formula, this plus this, or any VLOOKUP formula, as a as a matter of fact, it actually works with every formula, right? So now I'm going to select this, let's say, and I'm going to drag this, so I say Ctrl D. When you say Ctrl D, look at this, the formula is there. It was C2 plus C3. If I press F2, now it is C3 plus C4, because that's how the Excel rule works. Now it's C4 plus C5, now it's C5 plus C6, now it is C6 plus C7, and now it is C7 plus C8. So the formula is changing, right? So any formula which you have applied, that's really going to be copied and pasted. If you put the dollar signs here, the dollar signs will be pasted here, right? So Ctrl D is a very good option. It's basically to fill down the cells. Okay, now whether it is a constant or formula, it doesn't matter, right? You can actually do that quite easily. Okay, now what about the Control Enter? Now Control Enter is a shortcut key. Again, it works like Control D, but there is a difference, and the difference is, and I'm sure you would love this option. So suppose if you have let's say I have written here Ajay. Okay, that's my name. Now what happens, you know that if I just go and select this and I'm just going to say Control D, Ajay is going to be pasted, right? Now the thing is, so what happens, see, if I let me undo it. So let's say what happens, now you want to drag this Ajay, but you want to drag this Ajay with the new name. Let's say the name is changed, right? So suppose we want to drag this. Now we want to paste this Ajay, but not as Ajay, but as Ajay, let's say K. So now you press F2. You know the F2 shortcut key, right? It goes in the cell. It is to edit the cell. Now when I say F2, this cursor will be blinking on my first cell automatically, right? And then you just press, let's say, space, and you write here, let's say, that's my last name, right? Now what happens if you just simply say enter? Nothing will happen, right? But at the same time, if I repeat the task here again, so for example, I just remove this from here. Now I am going to do the same thing again. I say F2 and I say that this is how I have written. Now guys, if I right now press Control Enter, what will happen, you're going to see that. Look at this. The moment you press Control Enter, the data which you have edited, when the cell is in the edit mode, it's going to be pasted here. So that's the difference between Control D and Control Enter. Okay, because in the Control D, what happens in the Control D simply copies the upper value and it pastes to the all that selection which you have selected. But what if you want to do some addition, if you want to do some modifications in that cell? In that cell means in this 22, right? So for example, I select this range and now I say F2, and when I say F2, I write here 2, extra 2, and I press Control Enter. Right now you cannot press Control D, you have to press Control Enter if you want that value should be pasted till your last value. That is called the Control Enter. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to first go in the edit mode. You go in the edit mode by using the F2 shortcut key, which is very common shortcut key, very basic, and then you press the Control Enter. Okay, so what happens in this way, the changes in the cell pasted in your selection, right? That's how it works, right? I hope I am making a sense. Now let's talk about the last shortcut key, which is Alt and colon. Okay, so now this is very special. This is special because this works with the visible cells. Now for example guys, see this. What I do is I just hide this. I say hide, and I hide this row as well, right? Now you have only 4 rows visible here, right? The rest of the rows are, hidden. Now if you have to copy only the visible cells here, then what you do, I keep my cursor here and I select this entire range. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually say Alt and colon. So I press Alt and colon. Do you see that the selection is done? Look at this selection. Okay, now I just copy this, Ctrl C, and maybe you can go to the new sheet. So I just go and paste it. You see that the hidden cells are pasted. Now let me do one more thing. Let me press escape. Now I'm going to simply select this table. I say Ctrl C. Okay, I'm simply copying this and I'm gonna paste it here, Ctrl V. Look at this, guys, the difference, right? So copy and paste is going to even paste the hidden rows. But what if you just want to paste the only the visible rows, not the hidden rows? So in that case, what you need to do, you need to select the table and then you need to say Alt and colon. Once you do that, your selection will, it's going to select like this. You see that this is the selection, right? This selection is not looking like the usual selection, right? It's actually selected A1 and then this third row and then fifth row and so on. So now I just copy it. The moment I copy this, if I go to any other sheet and I just say that I want to paste it, I say Ctrl V. The rest of the process goes normal. Now in this way you can also copy the hidden the visible cells, not also the, I beg your pardon, but only the actually the the visible cells. So let me unhide it. So this is a very interesting shortcut key. This in MIS, we require it a lot, because sometimes what happens when you have made the dashboards generally people use the group option and they hide the formulas as well, and side by side the data is going, and in one row or the second row there is something which they don't want to show and they have hidden it. And if you just want to copy the only the visible cells, you can use this Alt and colon. So I write this to copy the visible cells only. Okay, otherwise if you do not know this shortcut key, then what is the solution? I hope you know that. If I just hide this again, let's say, now then I will select this, and I say that go to there is an option in the home tab which is called go to special. Ctrl G is the shortcut key, by the way. You say visible cells only, you click OK, and now you can copy this and now you can go and paste it. But this is a long procedure, right? Because you have to go to the home tab and then you have to use the go to special. You can use the Ctrl G as well, right? For example, if I just say Ctrl G, it's going to take me to this window which is go to, and I click on the special, and the special is going to take me to this visible cells. So if I don't want to use this ribbon, I can also do Ctrl G. But when we have a ready-made shortcut, why we would go and use the indirect method? It's simple. You directly use the Alt and colon, right? So these are the, I think, the 6 shortcut keys which I was actually thinking of sharing it with you, because I guess that they are not really the very basic shortcut keys. Many of you must be knowing all the shortcut keys. Well, thumbs up to you, a big thumbs up. But many of you who have been working on Excel from a long time, like I personally, if I talk about myself, I never knew that Control F1 and this Alt colon, I recently actually learned these shortcut keys, right? So it's Excel is all about, in fact life is all about learning new things every day. So make sure, guys, when you get up, when you start your day, you make this thing in your mind, keep this thing in your mind, that the time when you go back to the bed, you will be having that kind of a feeling that today I have done something unusual in the sense that you have done something bright. Okay, and as they say that I think I made it large, isn't it? So that's the kind of the view one should always aim for, and that's how one should actually plan his or her life, right? So I wish all of you a great success, and I wish that through this channel, through my all these 450-60 videos, in the coming time we are going to touch 500 very soon, and then 1000. Hopefully you will rise and shine. You will be pretty awesome in Excel, VBA, Access and Access VBA, because that was my aim actually when I started this channel 2.5 years back. It's a long journey. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for taking out time. I now just sign off, and we're going to talk about something else in the next video. Till then, you take care of yourself and don't forget what I've said. Wish you a great luck. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye bye.